Hi, I'm Neil Spicer, Executive Partner for Legendary Games and also the lead developer for what may well be our most ambitious project yet. From the very beginning, in a simple prequel adventure titled The Assimilation Strain, the player characters will be exposed to an alien threat encroaching upon their world, and though they may survive that initial challenge, the experience is destined to mark them for a far more sinister escalation as off-world adversaries take a greater interest in them. As a result, Chapter 1 of the larger Legendary Planet Adventure Path will open in media res, with the PCs waking up in a strange prison as victims of an alien abduction, and in the subsequent chaos of an impromptu prison break, they'll have to fight their way out by gaining access to one of the aforementioned stargates, and this artifact is the doorway which will take them to Worlds Unknown. In fact, that's the title of this lead-off adventure. To Worlds Unknown is designed to literally introduce our campaign setting by taking the PCs off-planet and into strange new environments. From there, the overarching plot of the adventure path takes on a Lost in Space kind of theme, as the PCs are constantly faced with the challenge of trying to find their way back home. But in the course of doing so, they find themselves swept up in a conflict which spans entire solar systems and the planets connected by these stargates. There are alien allies and adversaries to be encountered, new threats and challenges to face, and all new worlds to experience. With the authors we have lined up to tell this story, they'll first be taking your players to a neutral, crime-ridden world which controls access to many different gates linking the multiverse together. This planet will have an array of political factions to navigate as the PCs struggle to survive and use it as a base of operations while struggling to find their way home. From there, they'll venture to a post-apocalyptic world in the Scavenged Codex, where distraught baronies are fighting one another for the planet's few remaining resources, even as they grapple with a growing cult-like religion in their midst. Then they'll find their way to a dead world, a tidally locked planet with its waning star. There they're going to race against newfound enemies to reclaim the lost lore of an ancient civilization in an adventure called Dead Vault Descent. Later, they'll travel to a shattered world, a once powerful planet broken long ago into thousands of asteroids, but many of which still maintain a livable environment, mined by a host of potential allies the PCs can add to their cause in an adventure called the Confederates of the Shattered Zone. From there, they'll also visit a water world in the depths of desperation, where almost no remaining land mass exists as the planet's polar ice caps melted long ago, drowning its prior inhabitants while also giving rise to an entirely new undersea civilization locked in a terrible war against the same alien invaders intent on claiming the PC's homeworld. Here the tide begins to turn in favor of the heroes, as their adventures help them accumulate enough power and insight to stand against the evil spreading across the multiverse. And the PCs will have a chance to take the fight directly against the enemy by assaulting one of their greatest strongholds in the mind tyrants of the Merciless Moons. This is where we plan on introducing a bit of psionics into our campaign setting to keep the players on their toes as they face yet another daunting enemy. The information they glean from these encounters will finally take them to the Adventure Pass finale in To Kill a Star, where the heroes actually do have an opportunity to cause a star to go supernova, at long last eliminating one of the greatest threats lingering in the multiverse. So that's just a brief rundown of what's in store for this project. Logistically, we're looking at 8 separate adventures spread across all 20 adventuring levels, and our stretch goals will allow us to provide a player's guide for the adventure path, as well as new alien species, new monsters, and even a new pantheon of deities exerting their influence on an interplanetary scale. If that sounds like a lot, just know that we're up to the task. Legendary Games has prided itself for quite some time now on bringing the absolute highest quality products, and to do that, we've always enlisted the aid of the absolute best and most experienced contributors and designers. This isn't our first rodeo. We've completed successful Kickstarters before, even some similarly ambitious ones. And we've also written several adventure paths before as freelancers. So we've got both the confidence and the know-how to pull this off. All we need is your support.